Happy Thursday, leaders. Happy Thursday. I am going live on both IG and on Facebook. Hope you all have been prospering in your purpose and dominating in your destiny. I'm excited to be back on Instagram live. I have not been on Instagram live because social media, IG has been dealing with me. Okay. And so I hope that everything will go well on IG, and that if you are watching on IG right now, just let me know in the comments that you can hear me and you can see me well. Good to see you coming in. I am excited to expand on this topic because I know that there's some leaders who desire to steward well all the things that God has given them in their destiny to accomplish. And we understand that one of the ways that we're going to accomplish all the things that God has called us to do is that we will manage our time well. We will manage our days well. I believe Psalm 90 verse 12 says to teach us to number our days so that we may gain a heart of wisdom. And so as we steward our days better, as we steward our time better, I believe that God will continue to grant us more wisdom in our destiny. He will begin to give us more instructions and more wisdom for the people that he has called us to impact. And so this is why I decided that to do this live. And a lot of people ask me all these questions about time management. And one of the things that I've noticed with individuals when it comes to we're finishing our books or finishing anything that God has put in our hands, one of the biggest things that hinders people is that they suffer from procrastination. Procrastinating is challenging for them, or they're not able to follow through on certain projects because of procrastination. Good to see you, Miss Lisa, if you're watching online. Good to see you, Candace. Just type in the comments letting me know who's watching so I can greet you live here. All right. And so one of the ways that we're going to be able to accomplish what God has called us to do is that we need to be a people that understand how to manage and steward our time better. And if you know that you have some people in your life that need help with time management, I want you to share this video with them. I want you to save this video. If you're on IG, you can share it actually on IG on the replay. So definitely do that, because I want you all to maximize in your purpose and maximize in your destiny. One of the ways that we dominate, y'all know how to dominate your destiny. One of the ways that we dominate in our destiny is we manage our time better. And so if you're an emerging leader, I want you to type, or you're a leader wherever you are in your own right, I want you to type in the comments, #ILead. If you're watching the replay, let me know that you're watching it, and also put in the comments, #ILead. If you desire for God to maximize you and to increase you in your destiny, I want you to type that. Let me know who these next level leaders are that are watching this, so that just tap in. So the first way, and I want you to type in the comments so that you're tracking with me. The first thing that we all need to have, and I say this repeatedly, this is so important, because you need to make sure that you are not allowing your life to happen to you. Obviously, there are going to be things, there's going to be times where things are just not going to be perfect. And so one of the ways, though, that we are people that we just don't let life just happen to us is that we create a #life schedule. #life schedule. You need to know where you're supposed to be every single day. One of the posts that I just put up was a Throwback Thursday post letting you guys know that I was going live. Why did I post that Throwback Thursday post? I posted that because during my first 2 years in the classroom, or even my first year, God was really challenging me to definitely tighten up on my disciplines, tighten up on time management. And so he allowed me to see that one of the ways that I was going to be able to do certain things was by having a life schedule. I was complaining after my first year because I had no life, y'all. I had no life. I went home, I just did my lesson plans, I graded papers, and then on Saturday and Sunday I did the same thing, was creating lesson plans. And so as I continued to emerge and as I continued to grow, God allowed me to see, like, hey, if you place certain things on your schedule, you're going to maximize your time, and you need to have better boundaries and better systems in place so that you can go to the gym, so that you can make sure that you finish these lesson plans on time, that you get these papers graded. And so even before I started, I wanted to encourage you that some of us, God is increasing our responsibilities, and instead of us complaining, or instead of us, not acquiescing to what it is that he's trying to do in our life, we need to tighten up on some systems, tighten up on certain things, so that we can be able to do all that it is that he's calling us to do. Our first inclination when he says, oh, here's more responsibility, we want to push other things off the plate, or we want to abandon posts and other places. But instead, how about God is teaching you how to manage your time better? When I became a public school teacher, I didn't realize how many different components came with public school teaching. But instead of you could couldn't quit those certain parts of your job because it was part of the job, whether or not they wrote it in the description. Some of y'all who have taught before know what I'm talking about, especially in charter school. But some of the things that, you know, were put on our plates, God was teaching me in that season how to manage my time better so that I can accomplish the things that I wanted to accomplish to be successful and to make the most impact. And here's the thing about it. The time management is not really about you, but it's about stewarding your time well so that you can produce as much as possible for the people around you, so that you can create more opportunities, so that you can create opportunities that people have never seen before, so that you can give people space so that they can dominate in their destiny. And that's why it's so important to manage your time better, because this is going to give you the ability to create opportunities. If you're a person that you know that God has put a hammer in your hand, I want you to type in the comments, create opportunities, because managing your time well is not only about, I could do more things with my day and I could do things for myself. Okay, fine, do things for yourself, but remember that you're managing your time well because there's uncharted territories that you're supposed to be creating. As responsible global citizens, as responsible influencers, you're supposed to be creating opportunities and moments for individuals so that they can be able to be maximized in all that God has called them to do. And so this is the surefire way, is making that life schedule, making sure that you know, hey, I'm supposed to be here at this time. I'm supposed to be producing this at this time, at this moment. It's very important to do this. When you have a new season, though, I want to encourage you, because sometimes when we talk about these life schedules, people get they get all this anxiety. I see Miss Lisa, she's creating opportunities. One of the things, that happens is when you are in a different season, obviously you need to revamp and recheck your life schedule. You need to go in. If it's a different quarter, you got a new job, you got a new responsibility. All right, then go back to your schedule and then begin to shift it. You can have a fall schedule, you can have a summer schedule, you can have a semester 1, semester 2, semester 3 schedule. When I was a public school teacher, I had to switch up my schedule based off of a new season. I was teaching a different grade one year. Obviously, our schedules switch and change based off of season. So when you know that you're about to go into a transition season, you should know to be intentional about putting things in place, or putting time blocks in place to see like, hey, this is where I'm supposed to be at this moment. This is where I'm supposed to be because this is a new season. I'm in a transition season. Number 2, this is controversial, not really. Number 2 is hashtag all-nighter. Type in the comments, hashtag all-nighter. What do I mean by this? Sometimes if you know that you have a particular project and you got this wave of creativity, I told my students this the other night, but sometimes I get this wave of creativity. If you don't have my prophetic scribe book, you should get it. Where the Holy Spirit will just begin to give me all this creativity, and it might be at a time that's not idealistic for you. But when those moments of creativity come up, you're like, oh my gosh, I want to finish this project tonight. You need to be a person that pulls that all-nighter. I told people last year that when I have a project and I want to finish it that night, I'm going to finish it. I'm going to stay up all night and I'm going to finish it until it gets done. And y'all know that from college, good to see you, Chelsea. Y'all know from college, you used to pull those all-nighters. So how about you pull those all-nighters for these projects? Ride that creative wave. Once you get that momentum from Holy Spirit and he wakes you up, or you're just like, oh my gosh, I can't go to sleep. Oh my goodness, what's going on with me? You need to ride that wave, because you never know when that moment is going to come back again. You never know when that time is going to come back again. I told them that I wrote my second workbook. I wrote it in one night because I had this wave of creativity that fell on me and I just could not sleep until I got the information out. Pull those all-nighters, create. When you get that momentum, ride that wave and don't stop until you finish that project. Number 3 is hashtag uniforms. Hashtag uniforms. Okay, I'm talking about some unusual things, unusual sacrifices that you are willing to make. What do I mean by uniforms? One of the things that I did after my first 2 years, after my first year, I was like, I do not have time to waste on picking out outfits and doing all these things. I said, this is too much. I have to grade papers. I have too many decisions to make, especially if you know that you're a leader that has so many different decisions to make. And I wanted to reserve my brain power. I wanted to reserve my power in my mind, my critical thinking on things that were more important, like lesson plans and activities for the children. And I didn't want to waste it on my outfits. I didn't want to waste it on my hair. And so you know what I did? I decided I was going to get a uniform. My children had uniforms, so I'm going to wear a uniform uniform too. So what was my uniform? I wore a white shirt and some black bottoms, and I bought a bunch of white shirts from Banana Republic. I bought a bunch of black bottoms and some black shoes, and that's it. So if I ever was running late or something, I always knew that I had professional clothes, and then I had a black blazer. That's it. I always knew at any moment I was going to be professional anyways. And let me give you guys some encouragement, because after I figured out I was doing this, I went to Ms. Lisa's laughing at me. Yes, get yourself a uniform, make it up. If you want to wear some khakis, whatever uniform you want it to be. I said, look, I'm gonna wear black and white and call it a day. And my students in New Orleans were like, why are you always wearing the same color? And I'm like, y'all don't have a clue how many decisions a teacher has to make in one day. I don't want this to be a hindrance to me. Even my hair, it being in locks, I mean, I love that it is, because I don't have to make a decision. Do I have to put it up? Do I have to do this? My hair looks professional or looks nice and neat at all times. This is what I decide to look like so that I don't have to waste time. Let me read something for you. But there's an article I read, and I remember Steve Jobs, right? He had a uniform. Who remembers what Steve Jobs' uniform looked like? I believe he had that turtleneck and some jeans. And then that was his work uniform, this article says. Mark Zuckerberg, we know him for what? What do we know Mark Zuckerberg to wear? His hoodies, his gray t-shirt, his jeans. And then I read something about the Virgin Group founder and billionaire Richard Branson, how he has a simple uniform where he wears jeans every day. It says here, I just wear the same pair of jeans every day, evidently. And so there's these people that are multi-billionaires that they don't have time to be wasting on these different decisions. So they have a uniform as well. Remember Steve Jobs when we all remember him. There's a picture that comes up immediately with the same exact uniform, the same exact thing that he always wore all the time. So that was number 3, uniforms. Number 1, we talked about creating a life schedule. You should create this on Excel, create this wherever makes you feel comfortable. If you have to get a journal, a notebook, keep that in there. Number 2, if you need to pull an all-nighter to finish a project, because here's the thing too, sometimes you're not gonna be excited the next day, and then you're gonna lose that momentum. You're gonna lose that acceleration that you had, that propelling that you had. And so just ride that wave if you have the ability. My friend messaged me after that when he saw that post and said, oh, you're too old to be pulling all nighters. I said, no, I'm not, okay? I had the grace to do it, and just make sure you have the grace to do it. Number 3, get yourself a uniform, pick out what you want to wear, what's going to be your uniform every day, and stop wasting time trying to figure out outfits. You go to the same job every day. You go to the same, they see you every day. So if you want to save some time, get your outfits, put them in the closet. This is real practical things that I did, okay? I bought the same white shirt. It had different little things on it, like Banana at that time I had little black things on it, little whatever. It was black and white was for me, okay? Whatever colors you want to pick, choose it. Number 4, balance. A lot of people like to talk about this concept of balance. And when we talk about the concept of balance, it is saying that you are going to balance certain priorities for a season. It doesn't mean that you can hold all these different entities at one time. It means that you're going to choose your priorities. You're going to delineate your top 3 to 4 priorities for every quarter, and then you're going to stay focused on them. You're going to choose your balance is going to come through what are my spiritual priorities, what are my business priorities, what are my family priorities, and then I can't go any further into this because I have a whole document for this, because even within those categories, you're going to see what are the top 2 things within those categories. So business is, what's your top 2 things? Do you want to stay on social media and then do your email marketing? What are your top 2 things for your family? Do you want to make sure that you are present for your children's games? Do you want to make sure that you are present to do their homework? That's what we mean by balance. You have certain priorities for that season, and you don't allow people to corrode at your boundaries or corrode at your what you're balancing. And so you choose those top 4 things for that quarter, for that semester, however you could do it even for a year, where you're focused on 4 specific things. Maybe this is a year where God told you to ramp up in your place of prayer, and so now you're balancing prayer and you're balancing ministry and you're balancing school, and so those are the things that you are focused on. That's what we mean by balance. It doesn't mean and also too, it doesn't mean like everything is going to get the same amount of time. You may spend 30 minutes on your spiritual development, then you may spend 30%, and then the other 30% is in business, another 30% is in spiritual disciplines, and the other half of that, the 60 is in somewhere else. Balance is whatever it is that's your top priorities, what it is that God has told you, this is what you need to focus on in this season, and this is how you're going to focus on those things. And so definitely begin to ask God, what are my top 3 priorities? Evaluate those top 3, those top 4 priorities for the year, for the season. That's up to you. This is why I say we need to do the work now in 2022 before 2020. If you're waiting for 2023 to hit and then get all these time management things in place, or then get all these things into place, you're waiting too late. If you're an emerging leader, if you are a leader of people's lives, like you lead in ministry, you lead in your business, and you're waiting to the last minute, I mean, really, let me calm down, but really it's doing a disservice, because you have to help other people. And so this is a way for you to be able to say, how am I going to steward my time well so that I'm available and I'm present to build other leaders. This is for people that are next level leaders. If you're a next level leader, I want you to type in the comments #next level. This is for people that they want God to cause them to be matured, and for God to go up, and for them to go to another level. Because here's the thing, when you go to another level in your leadership journey, other people can be able to go with you. If you stay on the same plateau, if you are plateauing, if you're on the same level, nobody around you is going to be able to grow. And so it is your responsibility that when God is putting these things before you, that you are challenged to grow and to be expanded and to maximize, so that the other people around you can be able to feel that same tenacity, or that same weight, or that same drive and that same fervor. Let them be passionate, let them be ardent by way of how you are handling your time. They're going to be passionate, like, hey, if you're handling your time like that, if you're able to produce, if you're able to create and to build like this in this season, I feel like I can be able to do the same thing as well. Because as a leader, you're supposed to be inspirational. You're supposed to be able to give people that fire, or just give people an ability to believe that things are possible. And so manage your time well, because you want to be a positive influencer. You want to be someone that actually is a point of contact for other people to say, hey, I can do this as well. I can manage my time well. I can produce more as well. Number 5 is time blocking. I love time blocking. This is when you know that you have a specific goal, especially if you're a writer, if you're a person that wants to produce a book, if you're a person that wants to produce anything really, set some time aside in a day, and what I do is I set like 2 hours. If I'm going to write a new book, I'm going to set 2 hours in my timer, and I'm not going to do anything else. I'm going to put a timer on, and I'm going to set my timer on to 2 hours, and I'm just going to sit there and write my book that entire time. I'm going to sit there and finish my slides, finish my teaching for what is coming up next. And if you haven't signed up for the journaling challenge, it's free. I sit down and I create the prompts, and I take time. I chunk time out of my day to just solely focus on one thing. Some of us like to, this is going to go into my other thing, but make sure that some of us like to be distracted, and we're over here, we're over there. You need to time block. You need to set a specific amount of time that you're going to do X, Y, Z. You need to be, I like to time block in 2 hours. You could do it in 3 hours. I like to do 2 hours and then take maybe a 30-minute break or an hour break, and then get back in it for another 2 hours. That's what we mean by chunking and time blocking. The next thing is that goes with this is also reducing distractions. #reduce the distractions. Type in the comments, #reduce distractions. What does this mean? While you're working, one of the things that I found out for my own self is that especially as a public school teacher, we have all these browsers up. Even as an online teacher, I have all these browsers up. I have my phone popping. I have this going off, notifications going here, going there, and then guess what? I'm distracted. I'm trying to multitask, and then I'm not even finishing something to the point of excellence, because I'm all over the place. Text message came through, I want to check it. Email came through, I want to check it. And then it's distracting me, and then I'm wasting my time because I'm scrolling. Set a time aside to check your emails, and so then you can be focused on just answering those emails. Set a time aside just to check your Facebook comments. If you're in a high level building season, you should not just be flippant with your time. Set a time aside where you're gonna check your text messages. I don't allow my text messages just to run rampant all day long, because then I'll be like, oh, let me check it. What I like to do is turn off these apps. I like to turn I like to turn my phone on do not disturb. A lot of people already know that, but and I like to turn my phone on airplane mode. If you don't have the ability to do that, and I don't really have the ability to do that so much now because I work with other people, and so I need to get their messages on time. But if you do, I would turn off the notifications if you're working on something. If you're working on a huge project, turn the notifications off, or turn your phone, when you're doing that 2-hour time blocking or those 4-hour time blocking, what have you, turn your notifications off. Put your phone in a different room if you really need some more discipline. Give your phone to someone else. I like to just put my phone in a different room, and then when I'm ready to come back, because I'm like, hey, I cannot be distracted, especially if I'm writing something. I cannot be distracted. I got to be focused so that I can make sure that I'm writing well. And let me know in the comments if this is helping you. If you're watching the replay, let me know if you've tried any of these things, if you participate in any of these things. People know that I talk about time management all the time, but there's so many different, it's getting even worse every year, because I'm like, every year when I'm rebranded or I'm doing a different position or job, I'm like, oh my gosh, I could do time management like this. I can I could do this, I could do that, because I'm always looking to see how can I produce more in the time that has been given to me. How can I do more so that the response from God would be, well done. You steward your time well. You produced, and you didn't allow anything to hinder you from producing. My last thing, I believe this is number 7, hashtag type in the comments Sunday overview. This is something that I used to do a lot when I was teaching, just to really be present, take that time at 6 or 7 p.m. to be present with what my schedule looks like for the week, what my lesson plans are going to look like for the week, what activities do I have, what meetings with parents do I have. Even as an entrepreneur, I sit down with my schedule and I say, hey, this is who I have a meeting with this week. And so then what I do now is I actually just create a to-do list on my notes, something very simple for me, because it's just too many things to manage. And I put Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and then what you can do is, first of all, keep your to-do list in a consistent place. Because what I used to do was, I was all over the place as a middle school teacher. I would get my sticky notes, I will write to do, and then it'll be right here, to do, then it'll be right here, right there, right here. If that's been you, type in the comments, that's me. If you also do the same thing, or your sticky notes are all over the place. I just keep it in my notes at this point, because I have a lot of moving parts with my business. And so in order for me to be focused, and in order for me not to get distracted, I just look at my to-do. I create the to-do list on Sunday. And then sometimes if you try to add stuff later on in the week, it probably is not going to get done. So show yourself grace too, and don't overwhelm yourself and be like, oh man, I didn't finish everything on my to-do list, because it's probably not possible, especially for those overachievers. We think that we could do all these things in one day, and you cannot do all these things in one day. And so you need to begin to pace yourself, especially if you're creative and you're like, oh man, I'm called to all these different spheres of influence. You're creative and you're like, oh, my mind is here, my mind is over there. This is going to help you to stay grounded. I want you to type in the comments, stay grounded. Keep it in a consistent place. And what you can do is you can categorize your to-do list every single day. So maybe, especially, this is going to help you with balance. Okay, business, I got to get this, and this done. Okay, spiritual endeavors, I have to get this, and this done. Okay, ministry endeavors for Monday, I got to get this, and this done. Sometimes I like to switch days, and so like Monday is a high ministry day. Tuesday is a high business day. Wednesday is this day. Thursday is both. And so you need to figure that out based on your schedule. So all the time management hacks that I'm even talking about, that I've talked about in the past, make this applicable and make it unique to your own lifestyle, your own schedule, where you can actually be consistent with. If you cannot if you can't make a to-do list on Sunday night, then make the to-do list on Sunday and then come back on Wednesday to finish out the rest of the week. Whatever is best for you, but you have to keep that because it keeps you focused, especially for me, because I'll just be like, oh, I need to do 10, 15, 30 things. I need to go finish another book. I need to do this. And then I'll be like, that's not on your to-do list. Where did you get this information from? Because things just come at you all day long. And so your to-do list keeps you sober and it keeps you grounded. And I want to, again, encourage you to give yourself grace as you are venturing out into the seasons of trying to steward your time better. And so if you have not been managing your time that well in the times past, this is such a great time now in October to begin to put systems in place to get ready before 2023 gets here. If you already know you have a new job in 2023, you already know you have all these transitions coming up in 2023, what systems do you need to have in place so that you don't have any impediments to hinder you from building all that it is that you know that you're supposed to do in 2023? All right, if you're excited for 2023, I want you to type in the comments 23, 23, 23. I'm excited. I'm already in 2023 right now. I want to give you guys some declarations before we get out of here. And I also want to make sure that you're joining us for our self-reflection, our journaling challenge, where we're going to reflect, we're going to refocus, and we are going to rebrand. We are going to begin to do that deep dive analysis to become more self-aware about what are the things that God wants to do inside of us, how we are supposed to improve. Here's the thing too. There's a lot of people that are self-aware, but then they have no plan to do what it is that God told them to do. So you're aware that you need to get healed. You're aware that you need to start this business, but then you have no plan in place to get to that destination. And so I want to encourage us during the journaling challenge to begin to put a blueprint in place, to begin to put a scheme, a plan in place, so that we're not just people that are like, hey, I'm aware of this thing, but we have no plan. We have no plan of action. We have to have some sort of plan of action. And so the journaling challenge is going to challenge you for 4 days. I'm going to release prompts every single day to do that self-reflection work with the Holy Spirit so that he can begin to excavate the things that are inside of you that you need to improve on before 2023 gets here. And also, it's a time for you to reflect, because here's the thing too, that some of us, especially as overachievers, we don't do. We don't take time to celebrate. We don't take time to be excited about all the things that already happened in the season prior. And so in order to give God praise and to honor what it is that he's done, let's take some time to begin to do an analysis, to evaluate some of the things that we've already accomplished in 2023. And so this journaling challenge, I'm going to drop the link in the comments. This journaling challenge is going to put us in a place where we're going to do that self-reflective work. If you need to reflect and to get some prompts, especially if you've been having some writer's block, these prompts I hope will begin to catapult you. We're going to give you sentence starters so that you're not stuck. Begin to get your friends, get an accountability partner so that you can complete all 4 days. Y'all, it's only 4 days. We've done 30-day writing challenges. We've done 10 days. And so you know what? Let's do the 4 days. I know that we can do this. I know that we're going to be able to be accelerated, and we're going to be able to do all that it is that God has called us to do. So some of the prompts are going to focus on, number one, self-awareness. We're going to assess our areas of growth as a leader. I love sitting down and processing, how have I shown up as a leader in this year? What are some areas of growth that I have that I'm like, oh, and I call them areas of growth and not weaknesses. These are areas of growth. Like, what is God trying to show you or highlight to you? And if you don't take the time to reflect, you're just going to just go into 2023 like the same old person. And then you're going to have the same cycles, same bad habits. Reflection causes us to break bad habits. Reflection causes us to stop living in cycles. If we continue to live in cycles, it's not only going to affect us, but it's going to affect the people that are attached to us. And so some of us may be saying, I don't need to improve, or why do I need to improve in that? I'm only hurting myself. It's not. You're actually hurting other people when you're not the best version of yourself. When you're not the most up-to-date, upgraded version of yourself that God has called you to be, you are impacting other people from receiving what it is that God has for them, because God causes people to receive things through other people. And so he wants to use you as a leader to help his people. He wants to use your body to help other people to thrive in their destiny and in their purpose. And so let's do the self-reflection. Number 2, attitudes. We're going to address our fears and combat them with faith. So what are some fears we had in this past season, and how are we going to use the word of God to combat those to combat those fears? Number 3, we're going to address any areas of pain points, any unforgiveness that's still lodged in our heart. We know that we've experienced some sort of disappointment this season. There's some areas that, some things that happen that's like, wow, why did that happen? Let's begin to process it now, and let's begin to just release those individuals now, because we don't want anybody, listen to me, we don't want not one person, not one situation to trip us up in the next year. I don't want nobody. I don't want any unforgiveness in my heart. I don't want any situation that didn't pan out. There's a lot of things as a new business owner that didn't pan out the way that I wanted them to be. But if I don't release those things, if we don't release those things, we're not going to be the best version of ourselves, or we're not going to be able to fly fearlessly in the next season that God has for us. And we need to step into 23 with being intrepid and with being valiant, with great courage, so that we can be able to be confident and be able to fulfill the call of God upon our lives. The last thing we're going to do is we're going to reflect on aspirations and celebrations. We're going to evaluate our wins and create a blueprint for 2023. We're going to begin to hear from the Lord early as to what things need to be taken care of now so that we can jump into 23 excited. I see Miss Lisa is jumping into book 3. Shout out to her. If you're watching this, send some love to Miss Lisa, y'all. I'm super proud of her. She has, oh my gosh, accelerated her author journey. I'm excited about the multiple books that she is producing. If you know that you're a person that has to do, that you're going to do multiple things, you're not just called to the church. You're called to different areas of influence. You're called to education. You're called to the government. You are called to the marketplace. You're called to all these different spheres of influence. You're called to multiples. Then you need to be a person that knows how to steward your time well. Type in the comments multiples if that's you. Here's some declarations. We're also going to meet live at 8:30 on next week. We're going to have live coaching sessions, and we're going to provide you all with some leadership declarations to say over yourself as you venture out into the next year. As a transform and rebranded leader. Number 1, I will be a good steward of my time. Number 2, every minute of my day counts. Number 3, I will not get started the day before the due date. You're not going to procrastinate. And then I think ahead of time. You're going to steward your time well. You're going to every minute of your day counts. You're not going to get started the day before the due date. And then you think ahead of time. I actually want you to type this if you're future focused. I want you to type future focus in the comments. If this helped you, go ahead and share this with your friends and family, because we're trying to get those emerging leaders to definitely not crumble under the pressure that they're going to be under as God launches people into their destiny. One of the ways that we don't crumble is that we have a plan in place. We become more self-aware. We do that internal deep dive analysis so that we can handle the capacities of our destiny. I hope that, let me see if there's any questions before I get off of here. Type in the comments any questions. See you, Mrs. Wall, Future Focus. See you, Miss Designs. I'm looking at people's Instagram handles. Let me see if you all have any questions. I hope that you all are joining us for our final writing challenge of the year. This is our final writing challenge of the year. So if you don't hop in, oh my goodness, you're going to miss out. I have the prompts already ready. I'm excited about the prompts. Get your accountability partners in. If there are no questions, I am excited. Drop them in the comments. We are moving into the future. We're moving into the future with great intentionality. We are moving into the future with great power. And we are moving into the future with God on our side. And so I hope that you all continue to leave your legacy. And I hope that you guys continue to allow God to help you to prosper in your purpose and to dominate in your destiny. I will leave a legacy with you all later, and love you like a leader. Have a good rest of your day. Bye.